Well, you folks might have heard that there was this great new breakthrough in the war in Yemen, and that Mohammed Bin Salman and the Saudis, they'd negotiated this great, tremendous deal between the Hadi government, which is the so-called internationally recognized government of Yemen, which is a joke, and the Southern Transition Council, who are the separatists who want to return to an independent South Yemen. Those two factions had been fighting in Aden for control over what the Southerners call their capital. And, MBS supposedly brought an end to that and made an agreement between these two sides and had them make nice, and it was very happy for everyone. There was supposed to be power sharing. And before I even got a chance to talk about the deal and to do a video on it, it's already collapsed. Apparently, the Hadi government was not too keen on sharing any power with the Southern Separatists because they called them traitors. Sounds kind of familiar. I can kind of relate to that sort of experience. And so I guess the Hadi government just really wasn't present at these talks, maybe, because, why would they have signed this? I guess maybe the Saudis signed it on their behalf. I'll have to go back and check that. But in any case, the deal is now null and void as far as the Southerners are concerned, because the Hadi government just refused to implement the terms. They were supposed to, split the cabinet of this this so-called internationally recognized government. It was supposed to be split between, Hadi puppets and loyalists and Southern separatists. But that didn't happen, and so now the Southerners consider once again the Hadi government to be the enemy. Much more of an enemy than the Houthis, because, of course, the Houthis, who is really who the Saudis are trying to get the Southerners to join with the Hadi government to fight, they're in the north. They're not bothering the Southern separatists. And so to the STC, the Southern Transition Council, the real enemy here is the Hadi government and the Saudis. And this is a little awkward considering that the Southern Transition Council are the ones backed by the United Arab Emirates. So since the UAE is kind of like little Saudi Arabia, this is kind of risky for them. They're backing a proxy who is now against the Saudis. And, it might work out well for them in the end, because if the Southerners do end up winning their independence, well, then now the UAE will have its own puppet state. Unlike, and it will have been able to break one off from the Saudis, because of course Yemen before the civil war was a Saudi client state, and the way things are going, it looks like the Saudis have lost control of the north to the Houthis, who don't like the Saudis for obvious reasons, and now the Southerners, who are backed by the UAE and who the Saudis have been supporting or opposing indirectly through the Hadi government, it looks like they're on the ascendance too. And this is after years and years and years, like at least 5 years, of fighting in Yemen that the Saudis have been involved with. They have absolutely nothing to show for it. All they've done is just shed the blood of Yemenis and wasted the treasure of their kingdom. So anyway, back to the south. In response to this, I guess, just betrayal by the Hadi government, the Southerners have said, well, screw you, I guess our deal's over. And they have declared independence from Yemen. They are now on their own. They do not have any affiliation to the Hadi government, which claims, sovereignty over the entirety of Yemen, which of course is ridiculous. And so now it looks like that fighting will again pick up in Aden. They're going to try and push the Hadi folks out, and they're going to try and gain some international recognition, which honestly shouldn't be too hard to gain recognition from some countries, because they do have a pretty good case, considering that South Yemen was an independent country for a long time until it was invaded by North Yemen and annexed. And they've proved that they have a pretty decent fighting force. They've been able to capture quite a bit of territory in the south. They have been able to hold that, and of course they have popular support because there are a lot of people in the south who actually support them. Unlike, say, the Hadi government, who has really not much support across the entire country. The Southerners have their base of support, and the Houthis have their base. So the real losers, I think, in this whole civil war, other than all of the people of Yemen, is going to be the Hadi government and the Saudis, because it looks like they've really gotten nowhere. The Hadi government has been so demanding and so intransigent that I think that they've spun away given up every opportunity they had to actually return to power. I think that they don't realize how weak they truly are because they just don't have a constituency. The Hadi folks are only players because of the Saudis' patronage. They want complete, undivided control over all of Yemen in perpetuity, which is, it's just not something that anybody's going to accept. Now, the Saudis have been apparently, as I stated, I think earlier this week or last week, have been talking to the Houthis quite a bit through Oman, which is a back channel, and they apparently have been making some decent progress, coming to some agreements with the Houthis. Nothing official yet, but they're working on something. Apparently, they found a way to somehow bridge the gap between their differences. Now, of course, the Saudis, like I said, aren't the intransigent ones here. It's the Hadi government, and every past deal that the Saudis have tried to broker with the Houthis has always been stopped by the Hadi folks because they say, oh my gosh, but the Houthis rebelled against us, so they can't have anything because rebels don't have any rights, and that shows that they accomplished something in this war. It's like, well, yeah, buddy, they control a big chunk of the country, you don't, so they have power right now. The Hadi government is just pie in the sky nonsense. I mean, they remind me of the Bourbon pretenders to the French throne in the later 19th century. They're like, well, sure, maybe I'll come back, but only under an absolute monarchy. There can be no parliament. And it's like, buddy, this isn't the 16th century anymore. If this is the 19th century, parliaments exist. Parliament has existed in France for almost a century. You're not going to get rid of it. And it's the same thing here. These folks want to turn back the clock to 2010, and we're just not there anymore. You have to start from where reality is right now, and then work towards whatever it is you want to achieve. If you want to build another, a Unitarian dictatorship, well, then you're going to have to start with where you are right now and try and move in that direction. You can't just get it right off the bat, because that's been broken. And if the Hadi folks just don't want to play ball, well, then it looks to me like we're moving towards an era in which there will be an Houthi-dominated North Yemen and an independent South Yemen. Even if that's not necessarily, the de jure status on paper, even if on paper there is, a still united Yemen supposedly with Hadi as its official president, in practice, the Southerners, I think, are going to control their sphere, and the Houthis are going to control theirs. So with that said, if you get anything of value out of this video, I'd appreciate you clicking that like button and sharing this video. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because I do upload every day, and I'd hate to have you miss one. So I'll see you folks back here tomorrow.